Good morning, teachers. Welcome back. I'm so excited to be here with y'all today. I've really enjoyed being here with y'all all week long and getting to know you and answering all your burning questions today. So welcome, and thank you so much for spending this week with me. I hope that you have come away with something that you're going to try in your classroom for January. I hope that you have been inspired. I hope that you're excited. So a couple things, just remember that my face might freeze on the screen and it's okay. My voice will keep going, so don't freak out. So my Wi-Fi is really slow. So welcome, come on in and tell us where you're from and what grade you're teaching. And also I would love to know, what it has been your favorite part this week of the Literacy Center reboot, okay? Tell me something you're going to try in your classroom, something that inspired you. It can be anything from behavior management to the center accountability, the center templates, the center checklist, the center rotation, the theme center, or the writing center, or the kitchen center, the construction center. So tell me something that you're most excited about, okay? So today is a big day because I'm going to be answering your burning questions today, okay? So I'm going to get rid of my face here so you can see the slides a lot better. So at the end, I'm going to be raffling off a special teacher to win a $30 Amazon gift card, or if you would like a TPT gift card, you're going to decide which one you want, okay? So I just wanted to put this out there and let you guys know that my membership is now open for registration. There's already a link in the comments. If you are interested in trying out my membership for a 7-day trial for free, you can certainly do that. If you are not happy with the membership after 7 days, you can unsubscribe, guys. It's not a big deal. You can unsubscribe. But so it's going to be closed until... It's going to be open, sorry. It's going to be open until Sunday, and then Sunday it's going to close, okay? Hey, Tamara. So glad you're here. She's from Indiana, and she teaches 2nd grade. Yay! So glad you're here, Tamara. Now, if you are already in my membership and you want to level up to the next level, that is awesome. If you want to do that, just message me, and I will cancel your subscription in the previous level, and then I'll let you register for the new level. So, Level 1 is the basic level. It's $20 a month. You get 400 plus TPT resources. All of my TPT resources that are in my TPT shop are in the membership, and you get them anytime you want to. You can download them anytime that you want to, 24/7. You do not have to search on Pinterest. You do not have to search for Google. You have to search on TPT. It's all there in a bank for you. You also get this private Facebook group where I give monthly coaching calls and trainings like I'm doing this week. You get monthly cross-curricular webinars in the membership that are from my Facebook group. And you get YouTube videos, blog posts, and podcast episodes. So level 1 is the basic level. You get it for $20 a month. Level 2 is the same thing, basic level, plus you get 3 courses worth 6 PD hours. The 3 courses include From Scribbles to Stories. That is How to Launch Writer's Workshop from day 1. The Math Workshop Magic, which is How to Launch Math Workshop from day 1. And the Back to School Boot Camp. So the Back to School Boot Camp has the first 10 days of writing, the first 10 days of reading, the first 10 days of math, the first 10 days of social studies and science and phonics. So level 2 is $30 a month. And then level 3 is $40 a month with 5 subscription boxes. So it's got everything that level 2 has, plus 5 subscription boxes. The 5 boxes include Valentine's Day, holiday writing or math, Easter holiday writing or math. These are all centers that you can set up. Back to school, Halloween, and Christmas. Okay, so these boxes are going to be like this one up here. This is the Valentine one that's going to go out in January in a couple of weeks. And some of you have already signed up for the subscription box, which I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you. Everything from the math center or the writing center is going to be in the box. It's going to be laminated. It's going to have a sheet protector. It's going to have the dice. It's going to have the ice cube trays. It's going to have the counters. It's going to have the pins. Everything you need for the center is already in the box. All you have to do is just set it up. And it's already going to have the directions in the box also. So over here, I'm already going to give you directions to how to teach your class, how to play the game. So for example, you have bump. You have in and out. You have a holiday math mat. You're going to get 2 or 3 of these. You get problem-solving cards, which are story problems. If you have really high readers in your class that really are soaring and you want to give them a challenge with more rigor and relevance, then these cards would be perfect because they're going to read the story problem. They're going to build it on their holiday math mat. This one's also in there. It says, Fill My Heart. It has friends of 10. So if you teach kindergarten or first grade and you have some kids that need help with making 10, that's what the ice cube trays are for Fill My Heart. So that's going to be an example of the Holiday Math Center. Remember, you can choose which one you want, or you can choose the Valentine Writing Center. If you choose the Writing Center, you're going to get all of these toppers in the box. They're already laminated and cut out for you. You're going to get these examples that are already made for you. You're going to get the templates in the box. You're going to get the holiday pins. You're going to get holiday Post-it notes, holiday stickers, holiday cards. I mean, it's already there for you. All you got to do is set it up. So this is going to be the first one for the holiday writing, and then this is the first one for the holiday math. So you can choose between which one you want, and that's going to be level 3, which is $40 a month. So remember that my membership is going to close on Sunday. So you have a couple more days to think about it. If you have any questions during this training today, this Q&A, please ask in the comments and I'll make sure to answer you. And I'm so excited for those of you who have already signed up for my subscription box. That's so exciting. You can try out my membership for 7 days. Remember, for free, no strings attached. And if you want to unsubscribe, that is perfectly fine. All right, so you guys are here today because I'm going to be answering your burning questions. So what I did was I compiled all the questions that you have been asking me throughout the week, and I put them in some slides. So Janetta has the first question. She says, do you have a list of theme unit displays? So yesterday, I showed you all of my theme centers for the whole year. So she was asking if I had a checklist. And yes, I do have a checklist. So these are my thematic units. So what I did was I put all the different months on here, and then I listed the themes that I do for each month that are my theme center. So for example, August is All About Me, 5 Senses. September is Apples and Properties and Community Helpers. October is Owls and Bats. November is Veterans Day, Native Americans, Weather and Seasons. Now, you don't have to do all of these during the month. You can pick and choose. December is Christmas celebrations around the world. January is Famous Inventors, Winter, and Objects in the Sky. February is American Symbols and Presidents. March is Spring in Texas. April is Rainforest, Plants, Life Cycles, Endangered Animals. And then May is Fairy Tales, Oceans, and Sea Life. Okay? So those are the units, and then I put this checklist already in the file section for y'all of the Facebook group, so you can download it. Okay? Okay, the next question Jeanette had was, when do you start introducing your centers one at a time? So I start on day 3 of school, not the week 3, the day 3, because here's why. So we have, in my district, we have a lot of testing that we have to do. At the beginning of the year, we have our M class that we have to do. We have our MAP testing that we have to do. We have just some benchmarks that we have to do. So this, for me to start centers, it works better for me if I start on day 3, because I have so many centers, and this allows me to have enough days to introduce them all one day at a time. So, but if you have less centers in your room, which is perfectly fine, then you can start on the second week or the third week, whatever works for you. But since I have so many of them, I always start on day 3 because it usually takes me 22 days to introduce all my centers. Now, the first 2 days that I introduce my centers are all going to be about taking care of the center, how to get your clipboard, your pencil, your center pages, how to be accountable, how to use a whisper voice, how to use the center chart, how to use the center checklist. So I spend 2 days on just those rules and procedures. I make a T-chart on a chart paper that says do's and don'ts of centers. And then we compile a list of do's and don'ts. And then Jenna says, do you model how to fill these pages out when you introduce the center? Absolutely. That's a great question. So remember in the first training, I was telling you guys that I have the whole class sit in front of each center every single day. And I will pretend to do the activities in the center. I show them what activities that they're going to be doing. I'm showing them how to take care of the materials. I'm showing them how to put the boxes away so the labels are on the front, to the front. And then we all do the same center page together. Okay? Now this part is really important. Then I give them about 5 or 10 minutes after they complete the page. And I also have like a whiteboard there with me so I can help them spell words. So I write the words on the whiteboard as I'm standing there by the center. So if we're doing geography center and they have to write the word Africa because they're writing about the continent that they're doing, then I will write the word Africa on my whiteboard so they can just copy it. Okay, so I would suggest to have a whiteboard with you at your center so that you can write the words for them to copy, especially at the beginning of the year, you know, since they might not be good writers yet or good spellers yet, you know, not be confident. And then I give them about 5-10 minutes to color and shade and outline. And I model how to shade. And remember, when they shade, I have them take a little crayon that's been broken in half. They take off all the paper, and they roll the crayon on their side, and then they shade the background. And then I will walk around, and after that time is up, then I will pick the best picture, the best center page for the day. I will show the class, and we will give them an applause and say, good job, good job. And then I will give them a $5 bill. I will give them 5 bonus bucks. And you would be so enthralled. Like this is so awesome because they want those bonus bucks. And so they try really, really, really hard to color nicely and outline. But then it shows the other kids that are not coloring so good. Oh, that's what she's talking about. So every single day I show a different child's paper to the class. But that is a great question. Okay, and then Janetta says, do you keep all the resources needed for the year in the trays, or do you switch out as needed throughout the year? Okay, so actually I do a little bit of both. So it depends on the center. So for example, my math center has trays that will stay the same. Okay. The big money stays the same. The measuring stays the same. The shape activity stays the same. The 10 frames stay the same. However, when I want to differentiate my math center, then on the very bottom shelf, I'll take off the activities from the very, very bottom, and then I'll put those colored tubs that I showed y'all yesterday, like the green, the yellow, the red, to differentiate. And then those are the tubs that I will switch out for math. But most of my centers, like you've seen so far, most of my centers stay the same. There is very few of them that I switch out, but that's a great question. And then she says, do you have individual whisper phones for each child, or you clean them? I just clean them with wipes, with baby wipes, Clorox wipes. I just clean them off. Okay, great questions. I love them. Okay, we're going to move on to Susan. Susan, if you're watching today, thank you so much for your questions. Okay, she says, with 4 choices a week, do you do something differently on the 5th day? The answer is yes and no. So they have 4 choices. Now, here's the thing. Some of the centers might take them 2 days. And sometimes the kids want to stay at this center for the whole week. That's fine. But I tell them, if there's somebody else that wants to come to your center and you have already been there for 2 or 3 times, make sure you give them a chance to go to that center also, and just be fair. So they have a whole week to do 4 centers. And then remember, some kids won't go to centers as long because they are sitting at their desk. They're doing their schema notebook. They're doing their seat work. The star student is walking around answering questions. And then they're checking their work folder to see if they have any unfinished work. So they have a good 30 minutes to go to centers after they finish their work. But sometimes they only have 15 minutes, or sometimes they might have just 10 minutes. So remember, they have a choice of 4 different centers. They have to complete a center page before they move on to the next center. Let's say that they do all 4 centers for the whole week. Then I tell them, you can go back and do what your favorite one is. Go back and do one again, because there's always more activities that you can do that you missed. Okay? So great question. So Susan also asks, what about your game center? Can 2 go there? Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Your game center needs to have 2 kids. Just remember to remind them to whisper. And remember, if they're being silly, if they're not following directions, 1 strike and they're out. They have to put their head down. Okay? Okay, and then Susan asked a really important question about my subscription box. She said, what would it cost if we'd like both math and writing subscription box? So that's a great question, Susan. Hey, Susan, I'm so glad you're here. That's a great question. Right now, I'm just going to have you choose either writing or math to get started. And then, like I said, next year, if you are still interested in the subscription box, you can always switch out. Like, you want math this year, and then next year you want writing. You can switch them out. So that's a great question. So you can just choose between writing or math for right now, because this is a brand new thing for me, and I'm just trying to get my feet wet. And so I don't want to get too overwhelmed with all the shipping and everything like that right now. But if you're interested in both, then I would just wait until next year, January, I believe. Yeah, January, you can switch them out and then you can get another one. You can get the writing one or the math one if you didn't get it yet. So great question. I love it. Okay. And then Susan says, you say you do centers for 30 minutes a day. This is a great question, by the way. I do a modified daily 5 for an hour each day, but I'm trying to decide how I can incorporate your centers with the daily 5, as it does work, but I want more choices for my kids. I pull small groups during the daily 5. Any suggestions are welcome. Okay, so Susan, what I did was I took my center rotation chart and I put on the side, I put round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5. Okay? So round 1, these 4 kids would go to these centers right here. Round 2, these kids, 5, 6, 7, 8, would go to these centers. Round 3, 9, 10, 11, 12 would go to these centers. Round 4, 13, 14, 15, 16 would go to these centers. And then round 5, these kids at the end, 17, 18, 19, 20, would go to teacher table. Now, what would happen is you would need to have somebody that would need to switch the cards. Okay? You would need somebody to switch the cards. So every round you would have maybe your star student, you could have them switch the cards so they can have a new row for each round. Or what you can also do is you can have them switch the cards that say round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, which probably would be better. So create your chart where it has 5 rounds, and then one of your rounds would be teacher table. Okay. But then you need to have somebody to change the rounds. Or what you can also do is you can make a slideshow. Like if you have a slideshow on your smartboard and you use Google Slides, then you can just switch the slides yourself with your remote, and then round 1 would show this picture, round 2 would show this picture, round 3 on your slides. I've seen lots of teachers do that too. So whatever works for you, but you said you have an hour. That's a great amount of time to do daily 5. So if you have 5 groups, I mean, that's a good 10, 20 minutes, 15 minutes for each group. So I think that might help a little bit, like give you a visual. And then you can still give the kids choices. Like during round one, these kids have these 4 choices. And then these kids have these 4 choices. So that might help a little bit. So thank you, Susan, for those questions. That's awesome. Okay, Shantuan has a question about the STAR student. She says, how do you determine the STAR student? Okay, well, my STAR student is alternates between girls and boys. And like I said, at the very beginning of the year, I would choose a child to be the STAR student that's very responsible, that can whisper, that can be a good role model for the class, that can be very serious. You want someone to set the stage for the whole year, okay? And normally it's going to be a girl because girls are a little bit more serious than the boys. Now, I have had couple of boys that have been first, but mostly the girls are more serious. And so you are going to have the STAR student for the whole week. They are going to take home a bulletin board to decorate with pictures, and then they have a STAR student of the week page that they fill out. They're going to fill out, this is me, draw a picture of themselves, this is my family, my favorite book, my favorite subject, and my favorite food. And then they can put pictures of them and Clifford on their bulletin board. And then on Friday, they sit in the author's chair and then they do a show and tell. I only do show and tells for STAR student, so they can look forward to Friday. And that's so cute because they always ask me, Miss Rickman, is it Friday yet? Can I show my board yet? They're so funny. They love it. And then I take a picture of them. I share it on Seesaw with the parents. They love seeing pictures of their kids on Seesaw. So you want to pick a child who is following directions, who is very serious, who can have a whisper voice, and somebody, especially the first one, somebody who's a good role model for the class. But then I alternate girl, boy, girl, boy. Now, if you have a behavior student that is having trouble listening and following directions, I would save them towards the end of your roster, your class roster, so they can have time to step up. They have time to watch what it looks like, what it sounds like, okay? But everybody gets a chance to be STAR student, and sometimes they even have a chance to be the STAR student twice during the year. Okay, great question. And then Shantuan asks, is there any particular way you assign book buddies? So remember, the book buddies I was telling you about are for the library. They're for my poetry, my big books, my listening center. So they are free to go to the book buddies tub whenever they go to those centers and they want a book buddy. And they're free to get one out, and they're free to hold it while they're working. Okay, but they just have to put it back in the tub when they're finished. But they can choose whichever one they want to choose from. And again, they have to take care of them. Okay, have to take care of them so they can last. I tell them they have to last for 10 years because my students next year have to be able to use my supplies and materials. If y'all mess them up, then my first graders next year won't have anything to play with. So they're like, oh, okay, then they understand. All right, so next question, Shantuan says, how do you differentiate your center pages for striving writers? Okay, this is a great question. So I was telling you guys yesterday that, remember, pictures can still tell a story. So if you choose to do a writing center, a holiday writing center, then what you can tell your kids to do is just draw a picture. If they're not comfortable writing anything yet, they can draw a picture. Now, for each center, that in the subscription box, I will also give you vocabulary cards. There's vocabulary cards that you can put on a pocket chart, if you have a pocket chart nearby, or you can put them on a ring and hang them on a hook. And the vocabulary words will help them with their pictures, their stories. And then you can teach them how to label. So in kindergarten, I know that y'all do a lot of labeling. And then you might even have some kids now in January that are ready to start writing sentences. So you tell them you can write whatever you feel comfortable writing, but you have to model. How do you label? I'm sure you've already done that in the fall. Model just writing one sentence. Okay. So you can differentiate by telling them you write what you feel comfortable. And most of the time, you'd be surprised. Like the kids will step up and they'll start writing a lot more than you think they will. And even if it's not spelled correctly, it's okay. I just want you to try. Persevere. We talk about persevere all the time. So drawing a picture still tells a story, and then they can label the pictures also. So that's a great question. Great question. Okay, Shantuan says, how long is your daily calendar time? So my calendar time is hooked on to my my math time. My math block is 90 minutes long, so about 10 minutes of that time is used for calendar. I still believe, and I know some teachers disagree, and that's okay, but my opinion is that calendar still can really help with recursive review, because you are going over these basic skills that the kids need to know every single day. You're counting coins. I mean, if you count coins every single day, then when you get to your money unit, the kids are going to already know what a penny is. They're going to already know what a quarter is. They're already going to know what a nickel is. They're going to already know how to count mixed coins because you have practiced that in calendar. If you do telling time in your calendar every single day, well, when you get to telling time, guess what? They're already going to know more about telling time. So it's good to do a recursive review, and calendar is a perfect time to do that. Now, I spend about 10 minutes for calendar, no more than that. It's very quick, it's very fast, and it's very efficient. So I do have a video of me teaching my calendar, which I will post in the Facebook group later on today for you guys to watch. You can watch me teach. I have a couple of videos that I can post for you. I can show you my calendar time. I can show you my focus poetry time. So I can share some YouTube videos. You might want to enjoy watching that. But I really feel like calendar is very important, especially in K1. So you can review place value. You can review 10 more, 10 less. You can review skip counting, reviewing coins, reviewing the weather. You can track the weather. That goes with science. We track the weather, and we have a weather book when we did weather and seasons. We have a weather book that we bring to the calendar every day that we track the weather. So you can incorporate lots of things during your calendar time, okay? So that's a great question. All right, moving on to Wendy. So Wendy asks, will there be a handout for what you are presenting? So thanks, Wendy, for your question. Yes. Okay, so in the file section, I have been uploading these slides every single day that are labeled Literacy Center Reboot Day 1, Day 2, Day 3, Day 4. And I'll also upload this one today too if you're interested in looking at it. So they're all in the file section. If you are interested, and you can download them anytime you want to. Remember that this Facebook group will stay open for 2 weeks. And then if you are not in my membership after 2 weeks, then I will remove you, but you can also join my big Facebook group, which is called Create Your Balance with Literacy, okay? Because this is my membership only members group, okay? So hopefully you guys can stay in the group. I would love for you to stay in here. So Wendy asks, how many kids do you have to only 1 or 2 kids at a center at a time? So I have 18 kids this year. And I really love having 1 kid at a center at a time, except for you can have 2 kids at the game center. I also have 2 kids at kitchen because I have a long table, so there's 2 chairs there. And if they have a partner, they're much more likely to talk and be silly and not whisper. Okay? Because we go over how to whisper. We even practice. Pss, 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 pss. Okay? If they are by themselves, they're much more likely to whisper, to stay on task, to do their center page, to do the activities, to be accountable. So I really like to have 1 kid per center. That's why I have 20 centers. So my kids can have more choices, and they can only be 1 at a time. So it really cuts down on the talking, because during this time, I am pulling my reading groups at my reading table. So if they're at a center, let's say that these 3 kids here need to come to my teacher table for their reading group, they will just drop everything and come to the table. And then after their reading group's over, then they can go back to their center. Now, what if another child comes up and says, oh, I noticed that Parker was not at the, or they ask the star student, Parker's not at his center. Can I go there? Yes, they can go there. If that student has their stuff there, they can still go there. But then they have to switch out whenever the other kid comes back. So that's perfectly fine. Okay? And remember, I tell them you have to do your center page before you move on to the next center. Okay, so thank you, Wendy, for those questions. Awesome. Okay, Ramona has the next question. She says, how do you decide what to include in the Read Around the Room station? Okay, great question. So remember, Read Around the Room does not change. Okay? You're not changing out anything in your classroom. You're just having the kids point to whatever poster, whatever words that they find in the classroom. Now, as the year goes on, your room, your walls are going to change with new skills, obviously. Because let's say that you have your theme center. If you change out your theme center, of course, you're going to have new posters. If you if you use secret stories, and then you're putting up new posters for secret stories, of course, there's going to be new posters for that. If you have a sound wall and you uncover new sounds on your sound wall, you're going to have new posters for them to point to. But it's not like you have to go around like, say, oh, this is the 3rd week of school, I have to change out all my posters. No, you don't have to do that. You're just, as the year goes on, you're constantly switching things out in your classroom. I mean, I would hope that you are, because the kids are learning new skills, right? Or you're learning a new theme. So you have to just kind of judge how many posters you have in your room. And you're just going to tell them, you're going to point to however many posters you want to, how many words, how many vocabulary words you want to find. And then those are the words that they write on their center page. Okay. So that's a great question. So Ramona asks, how do you decide which books to use and when? I'm new to 1st grade and I have felt overwhelmed since before school started. Okay, I feel ya, Ramona. I really do. I feel ya. So I have a bundle that's in my TPT store, and I will link it in the comments after we are finished. And it's called Mentor Text and Vocabulary Cards for Reading, Math, Writing, Science, and Social Studies. So what this is a list of mentor text that you can use for each skill, okay, for each skill. So for example, for reading, it has suggested mentor text for cause and effect, or story elements. For writing, it has suggested mentor text for nouns, for verbs, for adjectives. For math, it has suggested mentor text for addition, for subtraction, for measurement, graphing. For science, it has suggested mentor text for properties, for weather and seasons, for objects in the sky, for every single skill for the whole year. For social studies, it has suggested mentor texts for Christmas celebrations around the world, for community helpers, for Native Americans, for famous inventors. Okay, and then for phonics is also in there. I also have mentor text with all the word families, all the different word families that you can use. There's great mentor text out there. And I understand that it is so overwhelming when you're a first-year teacher. Oh my gosh, I remember those days whenever you're trying to do everything at one time and it's so overwhelming. So Ramona, make sure that you join my big Facebook group, because that is where I share my free webinars every month, and I go over cross-curricular fun for the following month, and then I give suggested mentor texts that I use. So I'm going to be giving a free webinar on January the 11th, and so I'm going to be sharing all the different topics for January, which include famous inventors and winter and Arctic animals and Martin Luther King Jr. So make sure to tune in to the join the Facebook group called Create Your Balance with Literacy. But this is the bundle. I will link it in the comments, and then you can check it out. If you only teach writing or reading, then I also have these separated also. But the bundle includes the reading, the writing, the math, the science, the phonics, and the social studies. Okay? Great question. Okay. So remember to download all the resources from the file section of our group. Okay? This group will stay open for 2 weeks, and then we can still connect and you can still ask questions. This is not goodbye. Okay? This is not goodbye. All right. I would still love for you guys to ask questions in the group. I would still like to connect with you for 2 more weeks. And then remember, my membership will close down on Sunday. Sunday is the last day. Okay. If you're not a member of my big Facebook group, like I said, please, please, please join my big Facebook group. A lot of you are already in there, but I will link, let's see, I'm going to link it here in the comments for you. Okay. Okay. So you can join that Facebook group. I would love to have you guys in there. All right. So this is definitely not goodbye. And I really have loved spending this time with you guys this week. I hope that you have gotten something out of this training. Now, if you need your 5-hour certificate, remember, I'm CPE certified. Okay. If you need your 5 hours, please message me or post it in the Facebook group and I will send it to you, okay? I will only send it to you if you need the hours, okay? And I will make a certificate for you. It's going to have my CPE number on there, okay? And so just let me know and reach out to me and let me know. You can message me. You can email me, rickmankara@gmail.com, or you can message me here in the Facebook group. Comment below, okay? So that is perfect. I would love to give you your hours if you need them. Thank you so much for spending your week with me. That is amazing. So I promised you guys that we would raffle, and I have my cup here. So all of the people that submitted a question, are in this cup. And the winner is Susan. Woohoo! Susan! Yay. Okay, Susan, so you can choose between a $30 Amazon gift card or $30 TPT gift card. Okay? You probably don't need TPT because you got my membership already. So, it's up to you. But congratulations, Susan. That is so exciting. Let me know in the comments which one you'd like, okay? And then I will send you your $30 Amazon or TPT gift card through email. So put your email in the comments below and I'll email it to you. Yay, that's so exciting. All right, guys, that is all for today. Thank you so much for spending your week with me. I love you guys so much. And if you have any questions about my membership, remember it's going to close on Sunday. Tell your teacher friends. Invite your teacher friends into our Facebook group, the Create Your Balance with Literacy Facebook group. Invite your teacher friends. I know that they would probably benefit from some of these ideas and tips and tricks, and I would love to have them. Invite them in. Tell them about my membership. If you're already in my membership, and tell your friends, tell your teacher friends about it. So I would love to have some more teachers in my membership. That's always exciting to get new people. So, all right, until next time, let's take your classroom to your next level. I love you guys and have a great rest of your break. Okay? Enjoy your break. Enjoy your families. All right.